Finland has the world's largest sand battery, and an insect known as the kissing bug is spreading a deadly disease around the US. And history has been made in Africa. In today's video, we're going to be reacting to the latest strange and more questionable clips that I could find on TikTok. Let's get into it.
This is horrific. It was very common back in the 1940s until fairly recent years for young people with autism or other disabilities to just be placed into a mental institute and ignored. Most of the patients in this documentary also underwent a lobotomy and were just left here like trash. Catastrophic hygiene, facilities that were not fit for living, violence and starvation were all revealed in this documentary. Every single evening, all of these people would be stripped down and washed, getting a 20-second window to be cleaned by the nurse. They were simply kept alive, given a bed, food and water every now and again, and then just left to fend for themselves. They were also given psychotic you-know-what to see what that would do to their handicaps. In recent years, former patients of these psychiatric units have actually testified against the abuse they underwent. But even crazier again, this isn't a finished case. There are still reports of this still happening, even as late as 2022.
It's really crazy on what they put those people through. And they're probably still doing pretty harsh things to people with special needs and disabilities. Just not to that extent. At least not publicly. But yeah, with this kind of treatment, I'm glad it's handled way more professionally, way more caringly. Because there's definitely some people in there that had no clue as to what was going on in life, but they still should not have been treated the way that they were treated.
This is when it zoomed out, so you can still see it traveling. So, Mr. Knapp, do you have any...
Now, when it comes to this US hearing, I did not watch it. I've just been catching clips of it here and there on TikTok. Now, I do not know how close they were to this UFO UAP, but it must have been a fairly good distance. When it comes to videos like this, especially when it comes to the US military, we're talking about an organization that has millions upon millions of dollars, and all of the footage that they have of these UAP and UFOs are blurry infrared videos. That just doesn't seem right. When we're talking about a multi-million-dollar organization, they should have the best video and audio equipment that you can possibly get. Why are we using these 720p 1080p cameras to catch this footage? It just makes it really hard to believe, at least for me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.
These photos are the type of photos you wish you never saw after dark, so sorry. This first photo was taken in October of 1960. It's of a boy and his grandma. What seems like a really cute photo turns out to be a nightmare. Some sort of spirit is lurking in the bushes in the background, watching this grandmother with her grandson. From the post that this was on, it said not too long after this photo was taken, the grandmother had passed away. So let me know what you think about this one. This next photo was submitted by a viewer here on TikTok. They were taking what seemed to be a normal selfie, and you can clearly see a face in the background. Now this person said that they've heard all kinds of weird things in their house. Not only have they heard disembodied footsteps, they've also heard snoring. They said they've also seen a white silhouette in their home. Do you think that this is the entity plaguing this home?
I don't think I'm buying this one. Those look like just camera smudges to me. Especially the second one. That was obviously not a white face whatsoever.
A deadly kissing bug is spreading its disease in several US states, and it's spread through the bug's feces. If the kissing bug's droppings get into a person's body, it can infect them with what's known as Chagas disease. Here's what to know. According to the CDC, triatomine or kissing bugs carry a parasite that they can transfer to animals and to humans. They're called kissing bugs because they often bite people around the mouth area. They pass the parasite in their droppings after biting a person or an animal. Now, the CDC says people might scratch or rub bug feces into a bite wound into their eyes or their mouth without even realizing it, and that allows the parasite to enter their body. Locally acquired human cases have been reported in 8 states, most notably Texas, including these. It was already an endemic in 21 countries and may become an endemic here in the United States. According to the CDC, the infection doesn't transfer from human to human, but if a kissing bug infects you, you may develop fever, you may feel tired, body aches, headache, rash, loss of appetite, diarrhea, vomiting, and get this, some may even experience symptoms for years or a lifetime, which is known as the chronic phase of infection and can include heart and digestive issues. And the condition can be life-threatening. That's according to the CDC. There is no vaccine for Chagas disease, so you should protect yourself by staying in well-built places if you're traveling, use insecticides and bug spray, wear clothing that covers your skin, and by not eating raw fruits and vegetables since the infection can spread by contaminated food.
I think you can eat raw fruits and vegetables as long as you clean them and make sure that they're safe to eat. I'm pretty certain I've actually seen these bugs before here in South Carolina, so definitely be careful out there. Don't want to get no herpes from one of these kissing bugs. And other than the vomiting and diarrhea and fever, honestly, I kind of have a lot of those symptoms.
The world's largest sand battery just went live in Finland, and you might be asking yourself, what is a sand battery? It's essentially a gigantic thermal battery. If you see this building right above me here, what they do is fill it with sand, but it's also got a whole bunch of pipes in it that hook up to a heat pump, and the sand gets hot. They heat it with excess energy from green sources like solar or wind, because one of the main problems with green energy like windmills is it only makes electricity when it's windy, or for solar panels it only makes electricity when it's sunny. And you have to get lithium-ion batteries or a smart grid or something very fancy and complicated in order to store all of that energy. Well, this sand battery is literally just a building filled with sand, and it can store energy with a 90% efficiency, and this one can store up to 100 megawatts, which is very, very impressive. That's enough to heat a whole town for about a week. So what they do is use the excess energy from renewables like wind and solar when it's really hot and really sunny, and they store that literally in the sand in this giant silo as heat, and then as needed, the excess electricity can then be tapped into later via a heat pump. It can be hot air, it can be hot water, it can be direct electricity. There's a lot of ways to get energy out because the sand that's stored is incredibly hot. The company doing this, Polar Night, actually built the world's first commercial sand battery last year because it can make air and water heat hot enough for industrial processes, which is very impressive in my opinion. And I think this is wonderful for green energy. Yes, we can do this probably with a smaller square footage if we were using lithium-ion batteries, but you have to like strip mine the earth and process heavy metals, and then you'll have to maintain them. This is just a building full of sand, cheap, inexpensive sand, and it gets the job done at 90% efficiency, which I think is way better for the environment.
This is actually a really good idea, and I'm surprised that this has not been done sooner. And honestly, in the future, you could probably make one of these yourself at a much smaller scale to support your home. That would be pretty awesome as well. Let me know what you guys think about this. This is pretty cool to me. Hey, if you haven't done so already and you're enjoying the show, give it a like. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. I upload a video like this every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. And for everyone that's subscribed and watching, thank you so much for supporting the channel.
There was a cyclone at a Mayan temple the other day, seen and recorded by hundreds of witnesses. You know, them Mayans were one mysterious group of people. Yeah, mysterious.
Wow.
History has just been made today in Africa. After 14 years of construction and $5 billion, the continent's largest hydropower dam has finally had its grand opening in Ethiopia. Standing at 145 meters high and a massive 2 kilometers in length across the Blue Nile, it is now among the top 20 largest dams of its kind in the world. It has been described as a leap into the future because now it's open, it will double Ethiopia's current energy production capacity. That's enough to power around 5 million homes simultaneously. This is a literal game changer for the country because as things stand, around 45% of Ethiopia's 130 million people lack electricity. But after today, many homes which have never experienced what it's like to have electricity will do so for the very first time. Just imagine that. But also, this will now open up industrial and manufacturing opportunities as well. And not just for Ethiopia. With surplus power, they can even export this electricity to neighboring countries in East Africa as well. But what do you guys think? Is this dam a W or L?
I definitely do not see why this would be an L. This looks like a big W to me. I'm very excited to see the future of all of this.
The following footage, it's one of those videos that we each see something differently. When I showed this to a couple of people, saw a dragon, others saw a ship, and some saw a formation of a tornado. Well, this clip comes from a couple of witnesses who think they captured something during a storm in Texas. Now, please be advised, this clip is raw and unedited. This is their true witness video, so parental discretion is advised. Take a look at this video, comment below, let us know what do you see. And I'm going to post some pictures because this is amazing.
Yeah, it looks like a, oh,
What is that? Oi.
What the f?
Oh, that's a tornado upside down?
That's what it looks like an upside down tornado, dude.
Hey, I want to flip the wild ride. And it's moving.
It's an airplane.
Girl, not that little motherfucking airplane up there.
I told
you, babe. Oh, is there somebody flying?
Dude, everybody's been getting hit so ugly, dude.
What is that? I don't know, but it's crazy. It's huge. It's just getting bigger and bigger.
Nah, dude, that's some scary.
No.
I told her that, and she was like, do you see that? It's like, no.
Take it out the car.
Let's push it through.
I'm scared.
That's not even scary.
Yeah, you should out, bro. There's tornado talking about.
If I go live, how do you go live? Ashley, you know how to...
It's really flashy and it's hard to make out what it really looks like. To me, kind of looks like a giant mushroom cloud. Well, let me know in the comments, what did you see in it? Like I said, the only thing that I could make out was just a giant mushroom cloud.
The other day, we had a Mothman sighting in Chicago, Illinois. Now, this takes place outside of Hoffman Estates on Shoe Factory Road. Now, there were 3 witnesses who said they were driving about 10:30 p.m. down Shoe Factory Road, headed west. Now, they had got to this spot where they said it was pretty much a wooded area and it was some sort of forest preserve. As they're driving down the highway, they began to notice some sort of large object flying over their vehicle. Now, they didn't see it, but they seen some sort of shadow moving along the road. They said it then went into the woods, and then it came back out and went right over their vehicle again. They were kind of trying to look up, see what this thing was. They couldn't make any identification. So the third time this thing passed by, but as it passed by the vehicle, they hear a loud thump on top of the vehicle. So they pull over to the side of the road thinking they hit something. They get out of the car and they start to look around. They didn't see nothing. But they began to hear a screeching sound. And it was coming from the woods. That's when they all 3 looked over and seen a very large figure with red eyes staring at them from the woods. They jumped in the vehicle and got out of there. Now, it's interesting that this sighting just happened a night ago because just last week, there was another report on Lake Michigan near the Navy Pier. A witness reported seeing something flying over the lake. Very low height, and they said it had bright red eyes. It then took off towards Indiana over the lake. And we've seen an increase in Mothman sightings in the past couple of months. Usually, right, Mothman is sort of this omen of doom. So is there something bad getting ready to happen in Chicago?
I also thought that Mothman was just localized in Virginia. So now he's actually going out to Illinois, Michigan, and all these other places. Now, I've never seen the Mothman. Definitely heard about him. But let me know, for anyone out there in Illinois, Michigan, have you seen the Mothman? And if so, we may need to be on the lookout of what's to come in Chicago and Michigan, because normally when people start seeing the Mothman, bad things start happening. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and end today's video. As always, I want to thank you guys for watching these clips with me. And with that being said, if today's your birthday, happy birthday, and have a good day.